Dr. Craig Evans is one of the foremost scholars alive today in the study of the historical Jesus in the New Testament. Dr. Evans has lectured at Cambridge, Oxford, Princeton, and Yale, and he's been interviewed by the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. He's also served as consultant for the Bible television miniseries, viewed by over 100 million North Americans. He's a prolific writer, publishing more than 70 books and hundreds of journal articles and reviews. He's a professor at Houston Baptist University. Dr. Evans, welcome.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thanks for helping us think through and prepare our hearts as we get ready to remember Good Friday and celebrate Easter Sunday. So, Dr. Evans, as you know, in scholarship and also in popular literature, there are some people who say that Jesus didn't even actually die, that his death was faked. There's a swoon theory that he fainted or almost died on the cross, but then he actually revived later and went on to live a long life. What do you make of that as an academic?
Well, as an academic, I look at it as just a lot of foolishness, a lot of silliness. I'm not aware of any scholar who thinks Jesus swooned and woke up in the tomb. Okay. But just run with that for a moment.
Sure.
Let's suppose that happened. Jesus was in a deep coma. People thought he was dead. His friends thought he was dead. His body's taken down from the cross, placed in the tomb, and then a couple of days later, Jesus wakes up, somehow gets out of the tomb. Now, what do you think people would think? They see Jesus battered, bloodied, seriously injured, dehydrated, hobbling, limping, and he comes to the room where the disciples are hiding. Do they think, oh, look, he's resurrected and glorified? They think he's seriously injured and needs a doctor. Why would anyone look at Jesus in that condition and think that he's been resurrected, glorified, and somehow vindicated in an amazing way?
Or worthy of worship.
The whole thing is silly, and that's why scholars dismiss that and don't go with it at all.
Similarly, there are some who have said that Jesus never even really existed, that there's no evidence outside of the Bible that he existed. Now, is that true?
There are some, I consider them academic hacks. They're not real scholars, not real historians. But the thing that's so silly about that is they'll say, well, you know, there's not much evidence for Jesus. Well, hold on a second. There's as much evidence for Jesus' existence, if not more, than there is for Alexander the Great. Nobody denies his existence.
Right.
I mean, you have, within a generation and a half, 4 biographies about Jesus. Well, the only other people you can say that about are Roman emperors. So that's not bad.
That's true. That's true. And there's extra biblical references by...
Of course.
Yeah. So there's also a theory that Jesus' body was stolen. Now, the Gospel of Matthew mentions that there was a report circulated and so on. Any evidence behind that?
Well, no, not at all. But it becomes a cheap shot because it's awfully hard to deny the resurrection accounts. And the fact is the tomb was found empty. And the Jewish people kept track of the dead. That's a very important thing. The expectation was the disciples go back to the tomb and gather Jesus' bones 1 year later. Well, they're not going to be doing that. That tomb is empty. So what else do you say? Oh, well, maybe the body was illegally transferred from that place of shame to another place.
Right. Well, this is so helpful because I think one of the things a lot of us who are Christians sometimes wonder is, does this stand up to intellectual scrutiny, or is this just a belief system? And I think your scholarship just helps us, and the scholarship of many others, but yours plays a very unique role in our lifetime of helping us see that actually what we believe about Jesus' death and what we believe about his resurrection isn't just a belief, it stands up to academic scrutiny. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for this. No, Dr. Evans will be with us all week, so make sure you check back throughout the week. We're going to be having these discussions, and we'll be right back.